Hi, it's Sarah here with another quick tip, and today's tip is about using up scraps. This is a great one for all of those scraps that you end up with. I'm going to be using a bit of red velvet paper and some of the gingerbread and peppermint papers for this particular project, but it will work for anything. Now, what you want for this is to have a stamp set that has got some open spaces with just a bit of drawing on. This is a great one. This is what I'm going to use today, because what we're going to do is stamp on our pattern paper, or in this case as well, the red velvet. So I'm going to stamp first of all my first bit, the dress. Now I'm going to stamp this in memento because I'm just going to show you this is the kind of thing that we're going to finish up with. So I'm stamping in memento first because I want to be able to colour in the lady's legs and shoes. Oh crap, sorry, apologies for that. So I'm using memento. Because I'm using a photopolymer set, I'm actually on my luxury mat, and I'm just going to stamp this about there. And like I say, I'm using memento because I'm going to use my blends to colour in her legs and her shoes. So I'm grabbing my light petal pink for her legs, and of course you've got plenty of options for different types of skin tones. For any ethnicity. And I'm going, the red velvet paper is kind of between a couple of colours, and I'm actually going to go with the dark poppy parade blend for the shoes, and I'll just grab those coloured in. So I partially coloured this and partially paper pieced it, but you would possibly find it a bit difficult to find something that works for paper piecing for the legs and the shoes, or at least it's going to be very, very fiddly. So I would recommend a bit of a mixture. So this is my scrap of red velvet that I'm going to be using. Now this time I'm actually going to use black stays on. Black stays on isn't the best to use with photopolymer stamps, so I really recommend that as soon as you've used it, you use a stays on cleaner first to clean the stamp, and then clean the stamp again with our stamping mist, because that'll just help condition the stamp again. The stays on cleaner is a teeny bit harsh, so I'm using my black stays on, and it doesn't matter that I've not got all of her legs because I'm just after the skirt. So I'm going to stamp the skirt over the red velvet like that. And I actually, for this one, I did actually stamp it with Merry Merlot, but you do have to be careful. The Merry Merlot does tend to sit on top of the red velvet a little bit, and you can still end up picking up bits of the ink sometime after you think it's dried. So the stays on will mean that it does stay on, and I'm going to clean that very soon. But like I say, if you want to go with a water-based one, you do need to be really careful not to smudge it as you're cutting out, and also like I say, it can sit on top for some time afterwards. So the stays on doesn't need very much time at all to dry. I still would have probably given it a few extra minutes if I wasn't wanting to cut this out to show you. And this is basically what paper piecing is. So we've got our item and we're now cutting it out from whatever we've stamped it on, in this case the red velvet paper. And I'm just following the outline. Now, if you want to be really good at the paper piecing, you might also want to just take a marker around the edges afterwards so that there's no white showing. So for the paper piecing, we bring back in our already stamped image, and I'm going to use my wet glue, my Tombow, for this. And I just want to make sure that I've got sufficient glue in all of the edges to hold this in place without it being too much glue that it's going to seep out. So that's that. And then what we do is we then line this up over our image like that. And I usually just pop something heavy like a punch on it for a couple of minutes, just while the adhesive sets. So I'll just grab a punch and pop that on. Now I've done the same thing here with the parcels that are going to go over the top, and I've partially coloured some of the parcels. In this case I've used some Poppy Parade and some shaded spruce. I've used Memento because that's what we need with blends. And then these scraps that I've got of the gingerbread and peppermint, I've been stamping my image onto these, and I am using Memento with these. So I'll just show again because I know I've coloured the bottom part with the hands. I don't need to stamp that bit on my paper because I'm not going to be cutting that bit out. So I use Memento, and this cleans off stamps ever so nicely. And then I just get it lined up, and I might want to pop like those little blobs. If I just press this down, you can see I've got some little dots here on that box lid. So that's what I'm going for. And then again, for the paper piecing, it's exactly the same kind of thing. Let's go with this one. So I'm going to take this parcel here, and if you're doing multiples, then you could use the other different gifts on other images, on other cards, projects. And the other thing I just wanted to say as another tip with this, I'll just get this one cut out, is that you can always as well colour on your DSP. So if I grab my Dark Poppy Parade back again, then this ribbon that we've got on here, it won't work necessarily all the way because I've got a bit of an image behind here, but there you go, you can't really tell once you've done that. Oops. So all I'm going to do is exactly the same thing as I did for the skirt. A little bit of glue on the back of here, and I do tend to prefer the wet glue for this just because then I can slide it into place on my image. So if I get that picked up, I want that way around and stick that over. And then I may choose, say, let's see, we'll go for this box here. Box box lid just sticks out a tiny bit. And trim away the box base, and you just need to double check that you've got things lined up well. So again, I use my wet glue, just spread that along, and I'm going to pop that one there like that, trying to make sure we've not got glue all over. And then what I will do is cut out this one here to finish off the box there. Then I will fussy cut out this image, and I'm going to pop that up on dimensionals over the top of the lady's skirt here, just as I did for this one. So that's how we can do paper piecing. So have a look through your stamps, have a look for line drawn images like this, and raid your stash for all these little scraps that you've got to see what's going to work best. I hope that gives you some extra ideas. Thanks for stopping by. Please subscribe to my channel below for a quick tip on a Friday and a quick card on a Monday. Thanks very much for stopping by.